Welcome to this explainer. Okay, I am so excited to dive into this with you today because we're tackling a massive goal that pretty much every single language learner has. Right off the bat, I want to make you a core promise. You absolutely do not need to pack up your entire life and move abroad to an English-speaking country. No way. And you definitely don't need to lock yourself in a room studying dusty textbooks for hours every night. If you want to start thinking in English, like right now, today, you can totally do it. So we're going to walk through the exact step-by-step methods to make that happen, especially if you're a total beginner starting from scratch today.
But first, I've got to ask you something. Why is it that you can read an article, watch a movie, and understand English perfectly, but the absolute second it's time for you to actually speak, you just freeze up? Your mind goes completely blank. Look, I want to validate that frustration right now because it is so incredibly common. But here's the secret. Feeling stuck like that, it's not a sign that you aren't smart enough or that your English is somehow bad. It's actually just a mechanical issue. It's like a glitch in the process. And the good news? It's a mechanical glitch that we are absolutely going to fix today.
All right, section 1, the translation trap. Let's dive into the root cause.
So to fix this freezing issue, we first need to understand why speaking feels so completely exhausting and honestly intimidating for beginners. Think about what your brain is currently doing. Someone asks you a question. First, you think of the answer in your native language. Then, your poor brain scrambles to translate all those words into English, and then finally, you speak. You are not slow because your English is bad. You're slow because your brain is working double time trying to juggle two massive tasks at once. And while you're doing all this intense mental gymnastics translating in your head, the real-world conversation is already moving forward, which just makes you panic, right? True fluency is really just about removing that middle step. It's about having a direct English thought and then just speaking.
And the really crucial point here is that direct translation actually harms how you sound. Let's say in your native language, if you translate a thought word for word, you might end up saying something kind of clunky like, I very like this. But natural English structure dictates we'd actually say, I really like this. Translating in your head makes your sentences sound unnatural simply because every language has its own unique structures and rules. So we literally have to bypass that little translator in our heads entirely.
Moving on to section 2, the master key, shadowing.
Now, shadowing is this incredible foundational technique, both physical and mental, that will get you so incredibly comfortable with the flow of English. Basically, it's defined as listening to spoken English and repeating it instantly, kind of like an echo. You don't pause the audio, you don't stop to think about it, you absolutely do not check a dictionary. You just listen and you echo.
Let's break down the exact steps. Step 1, listen. Step 2, repeat like an echo. But step 3, man, this is where the magic really happens. You must copy the sound, the speed, and the rhythm. Think of it exactly like learning the lyrics and rhythm of a catchy song. When you hear a new song on the radio, you don't understand or know every single word right away, right? You probably just mumble your way through the chorus, but you listen, you hum along, you catch the rhythm, and slowly, eventually, you can sing the whole thing. Well, shadowing works the exact same way. It trains your brain to get used to English patterns without the terrifying pressure of having to invent the sentence yourself.
Okay, section 3, shift your inner monologue. I want to rapidly pivot into our actionable playbook here and massively scale down the pressure. Because guess what? You do not need to construct full, complex paragraphs to start thinking in English. Just look at how beautifully simple these pairings are. When you wake up, just think, I feel sleepy, I need coffee. When you're cooking, think, I cut vegetables. Start small. Actually, you know what? I challenge you to look around the room right now. What do you see? A phone? A table? A window? A door? Just literally name the objects in your head in English. By attaching these simple English labels to your daily activities, you're automatically building vocabulary without ever touching a textbook.
And once you master those simple thoughts, you level up by creating imaginary internal conversations. Imagine someone asks you this, what did you do yesterday? You can just casually answer in your head, yesterday I worked, I watched a video, I went to sleep. You're creating the conversation yourself. And here's a massive pro tip for you. If you forget a word in the middle of your imaginary chat, like let's say you completely blank on the word calculator, do not go back to translating. Just describe it. Call it the thing to count numbers. Honestly, that is exactly what native speakers do when they forget a word. Just keep that English flow going.
Next up, section 4, train your speaking muscles.
So, we've talked a lot about what goes on inside your head, but silently reading to yourself is just not enough to build fluency. You have to realize that speaking is a physical skill. It actively uses your mouth, your tongue, your lips, your breath. It is literally exactly like going to the gym. The first time you lift weights, it feels heavy, it feels super awkward. The first time you form English sounds, your voice might feel kind of strange, and words like comfortable or world might feel really hard to physically pronounce. But if you train your speaking muscles just a little bit every single day by reading out loud, and reading with real emotion, like you're acting in a movie or something, your speaking muscles will become stronger, smoother, and vastly more confident.
All right, Section 5. Change small daily habits.
The absolute greatest news I can give you today is that you do not need to add extra study hours to your already crazy busy life. We're just going to hijack your existing routines. Take a look at this timeline. In the morning, you think about your plans. Today I will go to work. Boom, that's the future tense. In the afternoon, you describe what you're doing right then. I answer emails. Present tense. At night, you review your day. Today I worked a lot. Past tense. Effortlessly, without staring at a single grammar worksheet, you have just practiced the 3 major time forms in English just by going about your normal day. How cool is that?
And this brings us to the ultimate goal, passive learning. This basically means learning naturally from your everyday environment without actually feeling like you're formally studying. By immersing yourself in these small, everyday ways, you completely remove the exhausting pressure of treating English like a chore, or worse, like homework.
So, let's look at 3 rapid-fire quick wins you can implement instantly to trigger this passive learning. First, change your phone settings to English. Think about it. You look at your phone, 100 times a day? Seeing words like settings, brightness, and delete programs your brain completely naturally. Second, write a simple 3-sentence diary in English right before you go to sleep. And third, use your social media time. Watch short, 20-second videos on TikTok, Reels, or Shorts, and just shadow the speaker. Listen, pause, repeat. It's highly effective, super practical, real-world practice.
I really want to leave you with this incredibly powerful quote from our source material. You don't need to add something new to your day. You just need to change what you already do into English. This should be your daily motivation. Consistency always beats intensity. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to show up. Small, tiny daily habits, changing your phone language, narrating your breakfast, reading a quick paragraph out loud, these are the exact things that create confident, fluent speakers.
So I've got one final, kind of provocative question to leave you with today. What is the absolute first thing you will name in English the exact second you close this explainer? Seriously, look around. Lock onto an object. Say its name in your head right now, and guess what? You have officially started thinking in English today. Thank you so much for joining me to explore these incredible techniques. Keep practicing, keep shadowing, and I'll catch you next time.